Hello and welcome to IeshaNyreeTV, where we're going to talk a little bit voiceover and creativity and whatever the mood strikes me today. So let's talk a little bit about voiceover today. If you're new to the voiceover business, one of the most scary moments is when you first walk into your first studio. You're going to walk in there and it's going to be a pretty empty room. There's going to be some sound equipment everywhere. The walls are going to be really padded, and there'll be usually a music stand right there in front of you, right under a big microphone. Probably the biggest, fanciest microphone you've seen up until that point if you're just starting out. Usually held in by a shock holder, which looks really intimidating. And there is your script on the music stand. In another room, you will have your director and your audio engineer and the client usually, and they're all ready for you to speak those words and make it happen. And all you're probably thinking is, I want this to be so amazing. How am I going to make this so amazing so they hire me again and then I can say I'm a real voiceover person? Okay, well now comes the scary part. How you make your script come alive. What you're usually going to get if you're going to do commercial voiceovers, and that's where most people get started, because honestly, there's a lot of opportunities for commercial voiceovers. Think of all the commercials you think of radio ads, think of advertising, marketing, think of all those places where you hear a voice but you don't see a body. Those are voiceovers, so huge amount of opportunity there to take advantage of if you're going to make this your business. So how do you make copy that is not written by script writers or movie makers or anything like that? They're written by marketing people in corporate companies or smaller companies who are looking to sell something. So that's what that's what they're doing. They're marketing people. How are you going to make this marketing script, this copy, just come alive and make it feel for the customer so they buy things? Remember, there's always a person at the end of your product. So it begins with a person and it ends with a person. You're one small piece of a huge puzzle. So keep that in mind when you're speaking your copy. One of the first and fastest ways you make it come alive, figure out who you're talking to. Every copy that you're going to get has to be directed to a person. Now, in regular just stage acting or movie acting, we get that. Your person that you're usually talking to is your scene partner. If you're doing a monologue, you're still talking to someone. Very rarely is it the audience clue, but in copy and in voiceover work, it's a little different, because you might be saying things about like the new Camry SLX is the best thing you can buy. You're saying these things that sound kind of salesy, but you can't think of it like a sales pitch. Right, you really can't, because then the end client is going to get turned off by it and they're not going to buy the stuff. Then your client's unhappy and then they don't call you again. So you really need to make it come alive and pick a person who you're talking to. Make a whole story around who this copy speech is. For me, I get a lot of if I'm doing a mom voice for a corporate client, I pick a friend that I'm giving advice to. Another mom, probably, if we're selling something that we're marketing to them, and we're sitting at lunch or coffee or brunch or outside the playground, whatever the situation that sounds best for the copy, and I'm just telling her a little secret about something I just bought and she's gonna love it, and I gotta tell her all about it. I want it to be warm, I want it to be personal, I want it to sound like I'm talking to a friend, and that friend is a client who is going to buy whatever item it is that I'm pitching that day. So make sure you pick a person who you're talking to. The great thing is, the more details and the more alive that you make this person that you're delivering your copy to, the richer your voice and the more personable it becomes. Suddenly, it's like, I want to buy all these things. I was working with a student one time. We were doing some copy for, I think it was Kodak or some photography company of some sort. Now, he read the copy, and it was a guy. He read the copy, and it was talking about, my kid does this, and I'm so proud of him, and sometimes he drives me crazy, but I got pictures, and he's great. And the kid was a younger guy. He was younger, and he didn't have kids. He didn't have a wife. He didn't have kids. So he had a lot of trouble really connecting to this copy. And he said so. He says, I think I might have to wait a few years to be able to do this copy. Fair enough. He might not be cast in that. However, we never, ever, ever, ever we never decide who's going to cast us. So we go into everything. Go into everything as though it is your part. Don't make the decision for them. They'll decide for you. They'll decide later. You go in and say, yes, I can totally do this part even though I have no kids and I seem very young for this character. So how I framed it up is, you can't really feel it when you're talking about kids because you don't have kids. I said, change it up. Change it whoever you're talking to. You're not talking to another dad, not a fellow dad. Suddenly turn into talking to, we decided his grandfather. His grandfather was older, and he likes to call his grandfather and talk to him about his day and just give him a heads up on what's going on in his life. But there's always tinged with a little bittersweet to those conversations. I said, pretend you're talking to your grandfather. Now the situation is, you're talking to your grandfather, and your grandfather lives all the way on the other side of the country, so he doesn't get to see you very often, and you have this child, you have the son, you have a dog. I mean, for whatever situation for this actor made sense. And you're just telling him about, yeah, it's driving me crazy, but gosh, I wish you can see it, Grandpa. I wish you can be here. Knowing full well that he can't. And knowing full well that he's still proud of you. And we put all those details to it. It clicked. And suddenly when he read the copy, it was so beautiful and a little bit sweet, but also nostalgic, and also just like, oh, you could hear all the ladies in the room going, oh my god, that's so sweet. Oh. Like, and after that, everyone was like, I really want to call my grandparents, and I want to take pictures of my kids and send them to them, and I want to see their pictures. And that's what we're talking about. You have to make the copy personal. The fastest way to do this is figure out who you are talking to. Put as many details into it as you can, and just tell the copy to that person. Just talk to them. Most copy today, and most commercial language, we want it to be not so much super diction, super polished. We just want real people sounds. We want it to sound as though, yes, gosh, I'm just another person. You can trust me. I've tried this product, and you're going to love it. It's going to help you with your problem, whatever it is. And that's it. That is what your job is to do as a voiceover actor, is to make this copy come alive. So, next time you find yourself in that scary situation with you and the copy on a music stand in another room with a bunch of directors and clients and audio engineers, and you're terrified with this big mic, don't sweat it. That mic is your new friend that you're just going to tell them about this great product that you found, and you cannot wait to share the information with them. Hope that helps, and we will see you back here tomorrow. It's going to be another fabulous day, talking about voiceovers, talking about how we create things. It's going to be great. So I hope you have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.